Greetings, greetings, humanity, and welcome to Monster of the Week. This is our April mini campaign of it on Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and this is a game of supernatural monster hunting by Michael Sands that is powered by the Apocalypse. For anyone who might not be familiar, let us go around and say hi to everybody and see who they're playing. And we shall start once again with Wally. Hello.
Scientist playbook.
So, quick note is that unfortunately, like a moron, I didn't check the audio here. Let me do that.
Okay.
Ha ha! There it is. They can hear you now.
Now they can hear me. So once again, hi, I'm Wally. I use he/him pronouns. I play Ozzy Tesla, or Ozymandias Tesla. Ozzy to his friends. It's the action scientist playbook. And he's a robot.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for the sub, Pope. Appreciate it. Yay. Awesome. Very cool. All right. And now let us head over to Autumn. Hello.
Hello. My name is Autumn. I use she/her pronouns, and I am playing Ori 6, who is a constructed. So she is a clockwork construct of slightly dubious origin.
Yes. Yes. Excellent. And now let us head down to Lance. Hello.
Hey, I'm Lance. I use he/him pronouns. I'm be playing Sully. Pretty wronged guy. He's kind of suffered for a while, and we'll see where that takes him.
So much suffering. It's going to be a delight. Excellent, excellent. All right, and now let us head over to Gillian. Hello.
Hi, everybody. My name is Gillian, pronouns she, her, and I will be playing Scarlet Underwood, who is the initiate from a very interesting place. Very interesting goals in mind.
Okay, now I will be very interested to see what some of these goals are. Actually, I don't think we spoke of goals yet, but that's okay. We will see what those are as play unfolds. And finally, finally let us head over to Drew. Hello.
I am Drew. I use he/him pronouns, and I will be playing V. V is a teenage gumshoe. So think yourselves a Encyclopedia Brown if it was a disenfranchised Chinese American girl who is not happy about everything.
That's understandable.
Are you sure everything?
We'll see how that plays out.
Well,
Let's see how this goes.
We'll see how things
this
go.
goes.
So
let's see how your goals play out first, shall we?
Yeah. That's kind of a thing.
Oh yes.
It's the whole being an occult thing.
Hey.
Like we do with most games on this channel, we're going to be using, just as a reminder, the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it, or we'll put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let folks know that we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it whenever we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. So, we are in a small town that has not been named yet, now that I think of it.
They didn't name the town. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know, right?
Whoopsie.
So we are in a satellite town of Montreal. It's this is basically like an hour or something like that away from Montreal.
Yep. We're basically in Canada.
Yeah, basic Canada. So that is where we shall begin. Is this this little town here. And kind of as our characters enter the narrative is when we shall have. Is that the name? Pope was asking. Is that the name of the town? Basic Canada.
Basic Canada, but it's spelled BACIQ.
Because I mean, you're dealing with mathematicians, right? Who put it together.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
where do you think basic?
Yeah, this was a town
programming came from?
built by super scientists, so of course it's named that.
Sully fully hates the town he
Such a
lives in.
basic town. And then I feel like a conversation would be going through two tourists, and one of them was like, "Oh, this is such a basic town," and the other tourist looks at him and is like, "Well, that's the name of the town. It's called Basic."
All right.
The Q stands for quality.
Sully is like that gif from the Karate Kid where J.D. Smith's like, "I hate it here."
Yeah, I figure like it's either that or I need to look up the French word for basic, and it's that. But
There's so many things about this town that Sully does not like right now.
yeah, I know, right? There's no escape.
There's no escape from the basic. The basic coffee shops, the basic school, the basic women.
Why do I live here?
All right. So, I think one of the first things we actually are. So I think Sully is wondering this to himself once again as these things happen. But I think we are going to start with Sully because that is where I'm placing the hook today. So where does Sully hang out when he doesn't have to do anything?
That's a good question.
Or if
he's not hanging out at his Sully, if he's not hanging out at his little kind of rat hole apartment, like weapons and what he uses to hunt, and like beer kind of apartment, he'll usually hit up a local bar and just kind of sleuth, sit there, have a few drinks, while he keeps an eye open for any mysterious activities going on.
Okay. You can say this is a bar probably down the street from Barry's Steakhouse. We also probably should name the bar at some point.
It's Hunter's Bar.
Well, there's at least one hunter in the bar right now.
I'm sorry. I was also going to go with Crossroads Bar as well, because I thought that would be interesting.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about that. Actually, we did name a bar. We could name that Crossroads Bar if we want, if folks would be into that.
The suffering begins.
I mean, it might. So when if the camera is sort of panning into the bar, what do we see? What does Sully look like?
Ooh. Sully is Sully's African American descent. He's dressed in some beat up jeans. He's got a kind of beat up hoodie on. His clothes look just ragged, really. He's not a nice looking guy. Also have his face like bruised right now. Some recent hunt took a turn, and he's nursing a drink. He's trying not to look too shady, despite his overall appearance of.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a quick question. Normally, you have to be 21 to be in a bar like this. Does this bar recognize V as someone to get in touch with in order to pick up Sully and make sure that he needs to get home safely?
Important question. For those of you who are familiar with Canada, Is that also the case in Canada?
Actually, the drinking age in Quebec is 18. It's not 21.
Yeah.
I like to think because Basic was made by super scientists, they're to get into bars, you don't have to look 18 or anything because there may be super scientists out there who have de-aged themselves by accident and they can't turn back to normal.
Oh my god.
So they let people go into the bar if they're underage, but you have to hold up a card to actually order the drinks at the bar.
Could you at least order some water?
Yeah, you can order water or something.
That's fair enough.
So like you're allowed in the. So it's kind of like pubs to an extent. You're allowed in the building. You just can't. You're allowed there. You just can't have alcohol unless you are the appropriate age.
Yeah.
One way or the other. So I think that you've been sort of hanging out there for a little bit. It hasn't been. It's. I'm going to say that it's. Oh no. Okay. Cool. We got you back. I'm going to say you've been hanging out there for a little bit. It's probably. I don't know how. What time of day you generally start drinking. But we could say, would it be strange to say it's early afternoon, or late afternoon, or do you wait until 5 o'clock, or?
Depends on the day. If Sully's out on an active hunt, he doesn't send a drink until the job's done. But if it's just a normal day, he's got to have a little fun,
So we'll say that it's like probably late afternoon. We'll say that. It's been you did hunt something recently, and you can kind of decide what that is. But yeah, it's we'll say it's not necessarily the same day. It's been a little time since that happened, and so. Your friend Thomas is going to enter, sort of as you are kind of sitting there, and he kind of looks around, and you can also, if you like, you can also describe what Thomas looks like as you created him, but that's up to you.
Thomas is very. He's very well dressed. He looks like a put-together businessman sort of guy. He's Caucasian. He has like hair that's brushed back, short length. He's got bright blue eyes, and he's generally a happy guy. He's really happy with what he's doing in life. Yeah. So he's in some dress clothes right now, I suppose.
Right. He does not look terribly happy today, but he is coming in, and he sort of looks around, nods at a couple of people. It's a small town; you see people all the time, and he kind of comes up, is going to lean on the bar, and he glances over and will say, "Hey, you got a minute?"
Oh, Thomas, sure, I got a minute.
So, I don't know if you've been reading about this, recently. It's just been like the last, about week or so. Apparently there's been this, this sort of this sort of series of blood loss deaths that they found recently, and and I thought it might, but it wasn't. But I know it wasn't anything like of the blood loss of the type that you're usually interested in, because it's like the blood was there, like on the pavement, but like sort of, but. They don't know if it's a disease or what it is, but one of the folks in One of the folks in the group actually had this happen to them this morning. I don't know if you heard. It was Julius. And there is a possibility you have probably met Julius before. It's been a while. You went to different schools. He went to school outside of the town. But he also had kind of had things he was dealing with, and he would came back to town to to work in one of the labs.
Right, Julius. Blood loss. How's he doing?
No, he passed away. Yeah, sorry, but yeah, it was this morning, and they're not, the cops aren't saying everything. They're not telling me entirely what's going on. But I'm starting to think that it's, I mean, like I said, it's not the kind of blood loss that you would think it is when you hear blood loss, if you know what I'm talking about, but there's something going on.
Yeah.
And they're keeping it under wraps. They're not saying anything about, I mean, all they've said is it's not a disease. That's all they've said. I feel like there's something here that needs to, that I don't know, man. But I know there've been like 3 people so far that we know about, and just with Julius being, it's the frequency is getting a lot more, and I don't know what's going on. So he hadn't shown up to the group for about for like a couple of weeks, right? And I tried to ask around and find out what I could to see if there was anything like going on with him. It's like all I would get is just that he was still showing up to work, but he wasn't. But he was kind of withdrawn, like a bit, and then he didn't show up like the last couple of days.
I see. Tom, I think you really should take a step back. I think maybe a lot's going on in your head right now, and you need to just have a drink and kind of cope with it.
I guess.
Yeah, come on.
Probably a good idea. Yeah, you're right. But I'm just saying that I think it's something that looks a little weird. I know that you have ways of doing things that other people do not. And so, like, if you have any, I was just wondering if you could, like, look into it or get your people to look into it or something.
Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
Thank you. The guy was, kind of. I thought he was turning things around, but it's, to hear this, and I don't know what the hell is happening.
I'm sure he was. Julius was, going through some things, and I think you probably helped him a lot on his way. So I'm sure you did your part. It's just something unfortunate happened.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah, I just if they tell us a little bit more about it, that would be something. But they're just not saying anything. So, but thank you.
Yeah, man. Your part ends here. I'll take care of it from here on out.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Sully's gonna get up and actually leave the bar.
Okay.
He gets up outside the bar. His hand is shaking, so he walks into the alleyway, and then he's just gonna punch the wall as hard as he can.
Ow.
Then he'll pull out his phone and message Ozzy. We had some work to do.
Okay. So, Ozzy, you're going to get a text here, and where are you when you get this text? What do we see?
So what you see is so right after like the camera pans away from Sully sending the text, you see like a panel shot of this camera panning down into a laboratory, and you then just see Ozzy get thrown back against a wall because coming out of this giant portal is this slime monster, and he grabs this large electric ion gun and fires away at the slime monster to push it back through the portal, and he turns it off, sealing the monster on the other side. He sighs and goes, "Huh. I guess that is what tripped the fuse." Okay. And he then notices he got a text on his phone, and he goes, Oh, okay. Let's see. Sully. He's a one. He's definitely a type. He's definitely a rooster texter because he's old. He's like.
I was going to ask you if his relationship with technology is the same as most older people with technology, even though he's a genius.
He's a genius, but like in certain little things, he doesn't have quite the grasp on, like texting with both hands with his thumbs. He doesn't really grasp that. He likes taking the phone and just tapping it like that. So he'll tap slowly, like, Sully, okay. Where would you like to meet me at? From Ozzy sends the text.
I'm at Crossroads. Got a guy who's investigating blood loss. Sounds a lot like vamps. We need to investigate this. Could have been going on for weeks.
Dear Sully, I will meet you at Crossroads. I will bring any analyzation equipment needed. Sincerely, Ozzy.
Because he still has the gentlemanly letter writing capability.
Yes, he does. Yes,
Yeah,
he has that down.
He has to be a gentleman. It's obvious.
Stop putting sincerely after all of your Sincerely, Sully.
You get that, and it's like the folks who, when they tweet, and the celebrities who will start using Twitter suddenly, older celebrities, and they end each tweet with "Regards, Bill," or whatever it is.
Warmest regards. Dear Sullivan.
Yeah, he does stuff like that. Yeah, and he looks at it, he's like, okay. And he puts the phone
hope
away.
This text finds you well.
He then sends out a text to Ori and to V. And he sends out a text to Ori, to V, to Scarlet, goes, Dearest friends, Sullivan would like us to meet at Crossroads. There is a dire situation involving perhaps vampires, or perhaps a I want to maybe think this is probably a disease that the body will require to ingest hemoglobin to restore their own cells, but we can discuss that further on once we get there. Sincerely yours, as always, Ozzy. And he sends the text out to a group text.
I think V has gotten tired of getting these really, really long ones and has just gotten one of the pagers from Ozzy's collection and just has a pager. So whenever the text is there, it buzzes. She knows it's his. She knows how to get in touch with him later.
Yeah. So V is getting this text. Where is V, and what do we see here?
You said it's the afternoon? Yeah, it's in the last class of the day. It's 3 o'clock. Class is still going on. It's probably biology. And she is sitting. If it's not, as long as it's not a lab, she's done. She's already finished the assignment. So she's just kind of got her head down and is just probably. I'm guessing she's got her book up like this, but behind she's going over notes for like the last couple of investigations. She might be a bit Watsonian too, in that she documents their adventures in a kind of pulp prose style. She hasn't published anything, but like it's being developed so that she can read it to her Mima later. So maybe she's just going over either clues of a current investigation or last times.
Nice.
I would probably be in that same class, though.
Probably in the same class. Do you sit next to each other? Are you at that stage in your relationship yet? Okay. So
I think it's also important that V is also clearly still working on the notes, even though she's standing next to her. Sitting next to her.
So what do we see when Scarlet also is getting this text? What does it look like? How is she reacting?
Like, so she would kind of know, like, because, like, she would, like, have, like, a hoodie on and, like, it's in her pocket that, like, she would know. She would kind of, like, also kind of, like, put her, like, textbook up a little bit to, like, pretend that she's actually, like, looking more closely at some of the reading material, but is actually sneakily looking at her phone to see the long text from Ozzy, and just puts back pocket being like, I'm gonna look at that later after I'm not in that situation now. Now, also, I think, like, because, like, one of my moves, I have to do it at the beginning of the mystery.
Yes.
I have to do that. So I have to roll plus charm for something to happen with my sect. So I have to do that.
Okay. Yeah. So if you have we have the beginning of things. So go ahead and make that roll. First roll, kids.
Hey, roll yourself.
See what happens.
Well, okay. An 8.
Okay.
So I get a mission associated with the mystery, and if I do it, I'll get info or help. So I get a mission that will help me. That's what it said. I probably get.
You'll get some info or help on a mystery. Okay. All right. Cool. So that we'll play through that in a little bit. This will be as this is unfurling.
All right.
You're going to get a mission associated with this mystery. Mm-hmm. Okay. So they kind of, so we see it in the end, sort of the bell rings, and your professor just basically looks up. Okay, now we're just going to want this. Remember, your reports are due Friday. So get those in, and make sure that you look through the end of chapter 15 for tomorrow morning, for tomorrow afternoon. Okay. All right.
As everyone's filing out of class, V just simply puts her report on the teacher's desk, and just on the having already left.
Yeah. Peter's just sort of nods.
As she realizes about the report, Scarlet also goes to her bag. She also has a completed report as well, and puts on the desk with V's report too.
I feel like it's actually as sort of everyone's filing out, and the professor's still sort of packing things up, just sort of looks and is like, okay, you two have been handing in your reports at a few days early. I think it's good that you're studying together. Then this is market improvement, Scarlet. Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Take care. Take care, V. And they're picking up the reports and putting them in their satchel.
Alright, so I'm just gonna look over to V, and I'm just gonna motion her to come outside of the classroom into the hallway.
I mean, she doesn't want to stay in the classroom, so sure.
Just gonna take her over and just be like, so did you get that text from Ozzy? That very, very long text. I didn't get a good.
I just have a pager function now on the phone. It just lets me know that he'll explain it all to us when we get there. So just.
She's gonna go into her pocket and just take out the phone, just look at the text herself. Just be like, wow, long text. But it looks like we need to head over to Crossroads. Yeah. Sully has something to investigate about vampires or something.
Oh, we haven't done vampires in a while. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So I'll meet you there then, or do you want to walk together?
I've got some skating I need to do, and I'll meet you there because our lockers are on totally different sides of the school, and I gotta put some. So bye, and then she just kind of quickly wanders off because.
Caesar walked away and was like, okay, good.
I think as she hurries off, she bumps into somebody, but she's kind of like, I'm sorry, bye.
I think also she walked in the opposite direction she needed to go.
Yeah. Clearly, if she needed to go in that direction, which was in the direction of Scarlet, she's going this way and going around. Yes. She doesn't like school. She doesn't like being in school. I think she only feels really comfortable when she's either by her lonesome or in the middle of an investigation. So those social interactions are still new and uncomfortable for her.
I will say, Scarlet, as you are, you still got your phone in your hand, and as V is turning away and you look down, you get a second text from someone. Do you have a handler or someone who
I have my master.
Your master.
Shoot, I forgot to name my master. No.
You have a text from your master.
My mentor.
From your mentor. And it just basically will say need to talk tonight. Not immediately urgent, but call before dark.
She'll reply with I guess she'll just she looks at this. I would say that it's surprisingly unusual for her mentor to text her unless it's something that he really needs her to be for. Because the sect doesn't really use phones that much unless it's for a big emergency. Because they don't really trust that kind of technology.
You're very paranoid. Okay. What do they usually use? Do they use...
They usually just write letters.
Do they send them by owl?
Actually, yes!
Okay. Good to know. All right.
So it's something urgent. She'll be like, she'll say okay, I'll call you at this time before sunset. So whatever time of day it is, time of the month it is, it's gonna be around before it gets dark. She'll call around then.
Yeah, we'll say it's roughly spring-ish. So
Yep. So it's around April. It's around 7:00 ish.
Yeah. Yeah, there.
So when she gets that, she sends that reply over to her mentor. She'll start getting herself from her locker and heading to Crossroads.
Okay. Ori, where are you when you receive this this text, and what do we see?
I am halfway down the stairs of the Teslagrad Manor, having heard the chaos in the laboratory, which I'm relatively accustomed to at this point. But they're like halfway down the stairs, pull out the phone and see the text, and just continue down into the lab, and just they just poke their head in. So, what? And she sees like some things are in disarray in this normally very like organized laboratory.
Things have slime on them for some reason. It's very strange.
And everything's kind of slimy, and she almost steps in it, and she just looks down and looks back up at Ozzy and is like, interesting day?
Ah, yes. Remember when I accidentally tripped the fuse earlier this morning?
Yes.
This was the result of it. Turns out when I tripped the fuse, it actually activated an old project of mine. It was that window that I created to look into other dimensions. Is nothing. It was pretty much a backwater project that I pretty much closed the book on. Turns out when I tripped the fuse, I still had it plugged in. So when the fuse restarted and the electricity came back to the manor, the gate opened and a monster came through. I had to fight it, and well, here I am.
Oh. Are you unharmed?
Oh no, I'm fine. I am doing quite fine, really. I maybe a little stiff in my shoulder, I suppose. I did get hit pretty hard, but that is not the issue. What is important, we have to make our way over to the crossroads because Sullivan is waiting us for us there.
Yes, I got your text.
Oh, you did? Did it meet you in the most convenient manner, I hope?
Yes.
Oh, dear daughter, watch what I have been practicing. He pulls out his phone and types on it a couple of times and sends a text. Ori gets a text that's nothing but it's an emoji face of a robot and a heart. And he like looks at Ori with expecting eyes.
It's like, because she has no mouth and no way to show expression, but she just looks back at him and she's like, this is very cool. I appreciate this.
I just figured this out the other day. It is called emojis. Apparently, young people communicate using only this.
Like New World pictographs.
Exactly. It is like New World pictographs. I believe what I think my next project would be to create a perhaps a Rosetta Stone of sorts just for emojis. I believe future civilizations will need to know this amazing language that people have created out of nowhere.
I agree.
Well, enough talks of new languages becoming dead languages and being discovered all over again. Let us make post haste over to Crossroads. I will meet you downstairs. I must change out of these disgusting clothes.
I will meet you there.
And
Nori just kind of turns and like books it up the stairs, and grabs her leather jacket and pulls up her hood. And waits for Ozzy.
Do either Ori or Ozzy drive?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
No.
Ozzy drives.
Okay, that's good to know. Ozzy can drive, but he just discovered emojis. Oh my god, what if he discovers GIFs next? It'll be like moving pictures in the side of phone. It'll be like, what a great name is this? This is an amazing invention! Who designed this?
It's the little things of technology that people take for granted that he is absolutely enthralled with, that he views as the greatest discoverers of all time. Like the day he found cat videos, no one heard from him for a whole month.
Oh my god.
He then tried to build a cat.
Yes, he did.
Of course. Of course he did.
And how many died as a result?
5 died?
Hannon, the Teslagrad Manor has a little robotic cat that runs around.
Yes,
I think
that
it
was the
has to,
final
yeah.
result of the tests. Was they created a robotic cat that lives around the manor.
Yes,
What's
it's-
the cat's name?
The cat's name is Marie, as for Marie Curie, because it runs on nuclear energy.
And it's highly radioactive.
Oh, it's highly radioactive.
Yeah.
Like whenever people like see the cat, like he's like, oh no, don't. He'll like pick up the cat, set it to the side.
That's how it gets rid of the mice. It just exposes itself to radiation.
He actually has 2 cats. There's Marie, the radioactive cat, and then there's Schrodinger. You don't know if Schrodinger's there until you see Schrodinger.
And even then, you're not sure.
Yeah.
Is Schrodinger also radioactive?
No, Schrodinger is not radioactive.
Okay.
But he may or may not be undead.
Yes, he may or may not be undead.
Schrodinger just exists in 2 separate states at all times.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Lord.
Oh boy.
So it's always important for any family to have a nuclear cat. It's very good. So you folks are going to be meeting up at Crossroads. And it doesn't take too long to get down there. For everyone, it's just a little skip across town. So Sully, have you been waiting for them inside, or is this is there a special place that you meet with them in this bar, or is it?
After setting up the text, Sully goes to actually wrap his hand. He realized he's hurt himself.
Yeah.
And he actually pulls out his hand cannon. Usually he's not just wildly wielding a gun, but he puts it in the waistband of his jeans and pulls down his hoodie to cover it. And then he moves back in to wait for them, but also keep an eye on Thomas.
Yeah. Thomas seems to be okay. It's just he is taking it a little hard because he kind of thinks of it as sort of a personal failing in a way, which his a tendency he has, so it's not great, but after a little while, everyone will roll up and get to the bar. I'm thinking that I think the school is probably closer to the bar than Teslagrad Manor is. But you have but they have a car, so you probably get there at roughly the same time. So about the time that Ozzy's car is pulling up, is when let's see. Is when Scarlet and V are going to arrive. You kind of go, separate routes to get there. So it's not, it's not a big deal. But you are there. You are at your bar.
So Ozzy's car, is like this really tricked out looking roadster that doesn't run on. It's an electric car, but it has these 2 gigantic Tesla coils on the back of it.
Of course.
So it's always drawing in ambient energy wherever it goes, so it never runs out of energy.
Awesome.
Oh Lord, he brought the car.
Beep beep. Beep beep.
Like he parks the car, and he always makes the joke whenever he gets out to, or he's like, now let's not forget where we parked, and he hops out. And he heads inside.
Or he just goes with it at this point.
Yes. Yeah, basically. So you walk into the bar. You see you see Sully is there.
And Ozzy is definitely dressed in a Miami Vice looking suit, like a white suit with white, like a white laser jacket with matching white pants, and shoes to match because the 80s was one of his favorite eras of fashion. So he wears a lot of suits and clothes from them.
So he's Elvis Presley now?
Oh no, he's like that was one phase he went through though. That was a phase
Don
he went
Johnson
through.
really than anything else.
Why does
That,
everything about you always stick out?
And it's really funny because next to him you have Ori, who's just in like plain like a black brown leather jacket and like combat pants and no shoes because she hasn't figured out why that's a thing.
So basically, these are two robots who just have not figured out clothes.
With her mask and like her glowing eyes, and then the hood.
Oh boy!
Next to the Miami Vice robot.
He goes like, well, I mean, why? I mean, I figure I stand out no matter what, so might as well wear clothes to match. Are we first? Are we the first ones to arrive?
I believe so.
Excellent.
I believe so.
I get first dibs on the jukebox, and he walks over to the jukebox.
Oh my God.
God, no, don't, no.
He puts in the money. He hits play, and You Spin Me Right Around starts playing over the jukebox.
What are you doing?
And he sits back down at the table with Sully, just looking expectant and ready to discuss things.
You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, right round.
I'm gonna say I think probably V is gonna get there next, unless she has a detour.
Well, if she sees that the car, if Ozzy's car is already there, she is going to go once around the block to avoid the first song.
Yeah, you can hear it. You can hear it spinning around.
And it's important that you know that she doesn't have a problem with the song. It's just that kind of way you get embarrassed from your family in that sense. Also, she's, I think, spending a lot of her time
Basic
reproaching.
vice.
What's that?
Basic vice.
I think she's spending a lot of time kind of recusing herself for acting like an idiot in front of Scarlet, but also trying to figure out what would have been comfortable for her, and the answer is just her going, stupid, and then she's right round, going one more around there.
So it is on one of these
finally
circuits.
comes in.
I feel like it's going to be during one of those circuits around the block that Scarlet's actually going to arrive. And so you're probably on the other side of the block when Scarlet. You're going to pull up to the come up to the Crossroads bar, and you hear this music playing, and you see the car, and you're like, okay, yeah.
All right, it looks like
Ozzy's in there.
Ozzy's here. Better join the dance session before we can actually get into this. So she just goes in and joins them. Well, she knows it's inevitable. She knows at this point it's inevitable, so she has no choice but to join in.
Sully takes a drink.
You said me right.
Ori definitely orders a drink even though she cannot consume it. She just likes to feel included.
It's good
So
to be
she
included.
sits there with like a really fancy cocktail, just letting the ice melt in it. Why
does this
not
always
a fancy
happen?
cocktail, like a Manhattan.
It's good. It's good. So basically, yeah, and there's this. There aren't many people in the bar right now, because it's not 4:00 yet. It's almost 4:00. It'll be that soon. But there are a few people, career drunks who are in there, who are like just sort of like trying to dance around in their seats to the music as they're very pleased.
No, don't.
Good question. Does Ozzy roll his sports jacket sleeves up to his elbows?
Totally
important
does.
question.
All right.
100% he does roll his sports jacket sleeve up to his elbows.
So I'm guessing
drawing
me
him
and
that.
Ozzy are now dancing to this music.
Oh no, Ozzy's definitely dancing. He's very much like, and thing is, he's like doing such the dad dance too, where he's like
Oh my
doing
god.
that over and over again. Like he totally could dance,
Visible.
but he just enjoys this one specific dance.
No matter how many times this happens, Sully's face always shows visible disgust as he
Yeah.
watches
Yeah.
Ozzy.
Yeah,
And
so
I'm
yeah,
just
you're
like,
just,
da, 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 da,
yeah,
da.
just look over, you see Ozzy and Scarlet are dancing.
Why?
It's
Why does this always happen?
Yeah.
I love how our client is also there going,
Yeah, he's basically, he's just like, he just shrugs because, it's like that's, Ozzy is a local celebrity, so it's a thing where it's like, oh, we expect them to be eccentric. But yeah, so V, I think, waits for the song to end, and then we'll come in.
yeah.
And you'll see that Ozzy and Scarlet have just been dancing. Sully and
V's
Ori are
used
just
to
sort
this.
of sitting off to the side, and Sully has just got this look on his face.
I think that she's been here enough that she does know that the Crossroads has some pretty good French fries and puts an order of those in since she's a teenager and it is after school.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the bartender will look up and yeah, okay, gotcha, V, and we'll go ahead and start getting the fries together for you. Start gathering up the fries and each individually. No, wait. So yes, everyone is now here.
So
Can we get to business?
Yes, let's get to business. So he like sits down. The bench audibly creaks a bit. Now, Sully, why don't you fill us in on exactly this vampirism that you believe is threatening the area?
Look, I got a guy from who I used to go to school with, Thomas. Runs a grief group. He's a guy. Anyway, one of his members, Julius, stopped showing up for weeks, and he was recently discovered dead. Blood loss, they say. Thomas has been trying to dig into the conspiracy. Feels like there's something the police isn't telling them.
I see. The blood loss from the body. If we can gain access to the dead body, then perhaps we can unlock more mysteries from this mystery.
Or I could try and figure out what actually happened if I went over to the site where the body was found.
Even better idea. Always good to start a mystery at the scene of the crime.
She's got a notebook out and she's just taking all notes.
Does anyone, by the way, have any other beginning of session or beginning of mystery moves that we need to go through before?
So I've got the Occult Confidential, which is each mystery that I observe a monster, minion, or phenomenon in action, which has not happened.
We're not quite there yet, but yeah.
So
I do not.
I do not either.
Okay.
Sully?
Nothing special for me, unless this is, that thing.
Not quite that thing. No, yeah.
Okay.
Nothing special.
So it's just me.
Doesn't look
All
like
right. Alrighty. I just want to get that one out of the way. Because I'm so special. Ready,
Yes.
Sorry.
So perhaps we should take a little bit of a trip to the scene of the crime.
All right. Well, actually, I wonder if Thomas knows where it is.
Oh, is Thomas still here?
Yeah, Thomas is sitting at the end of the bar.
Oh, boy. All right, let's go talk to him.
Ozzy stands up and goes, "Oh, Thomas!"
Oh, shit.
He just sort of is. Thomas will turn slowly. He's got a drink. This is probably his. This is probably his third that he's on at this point, but it's beer. So he's like, just sort of raises his mug. Oh, Professor Tesla. Yes.
Yes. Could you join us over here at this table? We have some questions we would like to ask you.
Okay. He gets up. He picks up his pint. He heads over.
Now, V, perhaps you can start taking notes because this will be very important for our investigation, yes?
Never stop.
Okay. Thomas, first of all, how are you doing today?
I could be better. Could be a lot better.
After explaining this, after the situation was explained to us, I understand completely. Now, I hate to reopen some old wounds. I would like to discuss this situation with you.
Okay.
Now, can you please give us a little bit of information about this, what was his name? Julius, right?
Yes, Julius Andre. He was one of I run a group, sort of confidential sort of support group for trauma survivors, and Julius was had been coming to the group for about 3 years, and it was off and on. It was spotty kind of at first, but he showed up more regularly within the last year and a half, I'd say. He had a lot of stuff that he'd been dealing with, but when he had stopped showing up about a couple of weeks ago, and I was a little concerned. He works in in one of the labs in town, and he stopped showing up a couple of weeks ago. We'd had some progress, I think. He was starting to do a little more. I think he was going to be okay, but then he just sort of dropped out, and I went around to his work. He seemed to be, they said he was okay, that he was working, but he was a little withdrawn. Then this morning, I see this report and find out this news report, and I find out that he's passed away. That they found him. He's one in a number of these recent deaths that have been happening. They haven't really said much about. They've released the victims' names, thankfully, but they haven't said much about the death. There has been in the article that I read speculates about blood loss, having heard about that there was blood on the scene, but that's about it.
This is quite interesting. Blood loss, but no blood on the scene.
Well, no. They said there was blood on the scene.
Oh.
Something about blood on the scene. Yeah, but it was
Gee.
something about blood on the scene. Something about bruising, but that's all they went into detail on the article about, I think.
See, this is most peculiar indeed. Well, you have reached out to the right person for this. We will do our best to try to figure out what is happening exactly.
Okay, great. No, thank you. I appreciate that. Is there anything? If there's anything I can do to try to help out, just let me know. Okay.
Oh, of course. And of course, if there's anything else you need from us, don't be afraid to reach out to us.
Without saying anything, Ori pulls out a contact card for Tesla Grad Manor, just kind of shoves it at him.
He's like, oh,
What?
Contact
thanks.
with more information if you have it.
Thank you.
He's so proud of her. Can't see it, but he is very proud of her.
It's like a really nice card too. It's like punched metal.
Oh, nice.
Because that's just like she doesn't have a job. This is just what she does.
He like looks at it, he
things.
sees that it's punched metal. He's like, "Oh, thanks." He very carefully is like, sort of takes it and he just sort of nods and he'll sort of back away and he's trying to figure out where to put the card. It's like he eventually stuffs it in a pocket.
Just sake.
Goes back to the bar.
I see your paperweight business cards have been going very well, Ori.
They are getting thinner. I am told that is more effective and more
Ori,
desirable.
We can work something out as a hobby. Besides your
What is a hobby?
business cards.
Well, a hobby.
Drink. That's my
She
hobby.
she holds up her Manhattan and she's like, I cannot consume this. Is this adequate? And she just kind of lifts it as if she's trying to drink it.
As we load up the instructional cylinder inside Ozzy about what hobbies are and why they're great for America.
Well, we're in Canada, so that's different.
Sorry, Canada. That's right. North America. Yes. That's,
North America in general.
There we go. North
Yes.
America in general. There we go.
Sorry,
Yeah, every time.
Do we determine what the business cards are made out of? You said metal. I just need to know what kind, just in case it comes up later.
They're like thin copper.
Thin
They're
copper.
like they're like the thickness of a credit card,
Okay.
but they've been
copper.
punched through. Yeah.
Okay. That's necessary.
That's very important.
Yes.
They're very
Very, very
conductive.
important.
It's very useful.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That's why he loves. Yeah.
That's Ori's thing. Every time she tries, you've tried multiple times to get her to pick up a hobby, but it always has to be something that she considers productive, and it like it has to advance something like a project or something. So she's not good at she doesn't get bowling.
Would she actually be good at knitting as a hobby?
Probably. She hasn't tried.
It might be a future experiment that
God.
Scarlett might have to do now.
Oh yes. So, perhaps we should head to the scene of the crime. I think that might be a best place to start.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It is logical to start at the beginning.
Oh, do we all need to travel together because you all have room in my car?
No.
Have we determined where we're actually going?
The last time I'm not getting in your car.
You probably
Shotgun.
How many drinks have you had, Sully?
Enough.
Sully.
I
I don't
felt like a
want
piece of my
that
pickup.
incident from 2 months ago to happen again with your car. You're getting in with us.
Listen, my pickup survives anything. It's like a cockroach. Can't die.
All right.
Well,
Here's a
actually,
question.
cockroaches can die. It's just that they're very durable, and they could
Okay.
survive up.
According to the Motor Vehicles Act, one is not allowed to drive while intoxicated.
Yeah,
Are you
he's already
Start
stolen
walking
his.
out.
He's already stolen his keys from him. So he goes to walk to the car. V's already in the truck waiting for him. She'll drive.
Sorry.
This
How
is
many
not
times I
the
gotta
first
tell you?
time this has happened.
It occurs to me. So 16. Those of you who are like at least 16, you probably have driver's licenses, I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
Do they allow that in Canada? At
Yeah,
age
you
16?
test for your G1 or your L at 16.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then you start off with a learner's permit, so learner's license. So
You technically have to
Sully-
drive with a supervisor, and
Yeah.
Sully would not really qualify if he's intoxicated. but
Whoa,
close enough.
whoa, whoa.
They just know to look the other way at this point. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're pretty lenient if you're
Yeah.
if you're a designated driver.
Here's a question. Did Sully teach V how to drive?
Oh gosh, I hope so.
I could see it.
I could totally see that.
Did V teach Sully how to drive?
Other way around, one would think, but possibly.
No, I think I liked the idea that V probably had no real interest in driving per se until it became a necessity. So like we have this flashback adventure where like, you know, it's just Sully's going, no, shift down, and you see these things like flying after them, like tearing open the truck and like screaming, spitting blood, and she's just kind of like behind the wheel like this. And since then, she's gotten better.
Out of the
Awesome.
frying pan into the fire.
Yeah.
So there is a little park, just outside of the Noir, the
Okay.
Noir Theater. It's Da Vinci Park, and it has, you know, there are few like structures, little sculptures there. They're supposed to be like some of Da Vinci's inventions, but but there's aside from that, there's like a basketball court, and that's mostly what's there.
So
And there are
I
people
get out.
walking
I
their
get-
animals.
So it's basically just like one of those little mini parks, and not like a big huge park.
It's not huge. It's I'd say it's like medium at biggest. So it's like there's you know you can, if you stand on one side of the park, you can see the other side of the park and cars moving back and forth. So it's not like, you know.
It's circular and with 5 points, one for the head, a couple for the arms, a couple for the legs.
Yeah.
Yes,
Stretches
yes.
out that way.
Yeah. If you look at
There's-
it from above, it looks like that.
Yeah. It's got a really interesting shrubberies.
Yes. Yeah, set up like Da Vinci's Man, kind of, basically, yes.
All right, we get there separate from. How good of a driver is Ozzy? We
He's an excellent driver. Like, he is. He's pretty much an expert in combat driving, because he drove cars in wars, so he knows how to drive. He pretty much knows how to drive any kind of vehicle, so he's really good at it. And because he can just have a steady hand all the time, it's like it
So what you're
really
saying
doesn't
is-
bother him.
If he's a good driver, then the reason that none of us want to drive with him is his music choices.
Oh, it's his music choices. Yes.
Okay.
Well, one is because he legit drives a DeLorean, and two, it's his music choices.
There we go.
I feel like there's so
Ori
we-
appreciates the music and the DeLorean.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ori.
I
I was
feel
just
like
about to say, do you spin me right round on repeat on the radio?
Oh no, it's 100 straight up 80s mix that he plays all the time.
I feel like we get this like dramatic intercutting sometimes between the two cars and the drastic differences in what music is playing.
There's pure rock.
Silence. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say Skinner probably, or Silence versus.
Just all rock and Sully's pickup right now.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that bonds V and Sully is the fact that they're both okay with neither one of them actually speaking.
Mm-hmm.
That works.
Silence is a virtue, kiddo. Silence is a virtue.
So you make it to the park, you have like these various sculptures. You have a basketball court, and you have the shrubberies, the various things that are here.
And then, if we know where the body was found, V's just going to go into.
Yeah. So do
detective
you look
mode.
up? Yeah. If you look up the article, you can find that apparently it was on the south end of the basketball court.
I'm going to assume that if the article came out recently, even if today,
Yeah,
that
it's
there are
today.
going to be some kind of police setup, and there are going to be gawkers, right?
Yep. Police tape, gawkers, people out walking their iguanas who are just shaking their heads. And,
What do the police do when they see Sully?
they put their hands on their hips, usually. But no. But I mean, it depends really, because they're the cops here kind of know. Yeah, I mean, this again, it's a small town, so folks kind of will know each other. So they just kind of does Sully have what kind of a record does Sully have? I think that's the question.
Seeing as we have two places that Sully cannot go alone.
That's fair. So if we
Probably
already have
a rough
that,
relationship.
yeah.
Well,
They
one's
already
the
have
Nexus
that.
lanes, right? Like, he can't go into the Nexus by himself, or is that?
Yeah, he cannot go in unaccompanied to Nexus lanes, and then I think there's somewhere else also we said that.
I think there was like one more spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
Oh yeah, the Tim Hortons that the Faye owned Tim Hortons, I think is the other one. Yeah. So yeah, he's so you know there are at this point it's much later in the day, so it's not like the so I don't think. I think at best there might be a squad car parked nearby. So, but I don't think the cops are out and about necessarily here at this point. The police tape is still. I mean, they've already had the detective in, so it's not like they necessarily need to do a lot of security. But I guess they'd keep it, you know, for like 24 hours. They'd keep sort of like an observation thing. So it's basically the corner of the basketball court is kind of taped off. Got these posts up with the tape running between them.
I think V still is, even though doesn't like being a 16-year-old girl per se, kind of doesn't really want to be caught up in the notoriety of science-minded investigators. I think it's sort of her own, like, she's almost has a secret identity. You know, she's a quiet kid, but is also a super sleuth that teams up with you know, monster hunters. And I think if she's doing her investigation, she's doing so like inconspicuously, like trying to kind of maybe skate around and look, but not like isn't bunched with them. So while they might have gears or spells or something along those lines, she's just kind of quietly doing that thing.
Do you have a move associated with investigating a crime scene?
Strangely enough, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I have a double talk thing. I've got the first one, which is the Occult Confidential, and then I have my connections. But there isn't a specific investigation skill. It's just sharp investigate a mystery.
Okay, no worries. So I think. But I mean, the investigating a mystery is definitely starting to happen, but I just sort of want to know where folks are gonna kind of be looking around. I think that mostly, there's not really much else here aside from, you know, the police tape sort of cordons off the area. There's an area where they would, you know, it's only slightly stained now, where the body was. On the basketball court, so yeah, I think, we'll go ahead and we'll start with that. Go ahead and do investigate a mystery, and we'll go from there.
You want everybody to roll this, or is it just me rolling?
I think right now, since V was the one saying that they were doing it, that's who rolls.
7.
For now, that was a single D6.
That was a singular D6.
So we'll need. We need 2 D6.
Ooh, that's even worse.
Oh!
I have failed miserably.
Oh,
excellent. There we go. Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Hey, I get an experience point.
You do get XP. You get XP for failing in this system, which is awesome. So I think that as you're kind of looking around here, and trying to sort out kind of what's going on, right? that you'll have these. You basically will have so the cops in the squad car are going to get out of the squad car. Kind of looking, and they're going to come over and start sort of. One of them's going to come over and start just basically come up to V. Oddly enough, basically, even though Sully is with her, they just sort of they're sort of warily looking at the two of them. It's like, don't, hey kid, we know this is a crime scene over here. Don't mess with it, okay?
I intercede. Hey, fellas. Sure, you got other things to worry about than a teenager.
Yeah, but I got to keep the folks away from the crime scene right now. It's still, it hasn't been. We're watching it,
Relax. We'll get out of your hair.
I think that. Are you trying to manipulate someone?
Yes, I'm such a charming guy.
Yes. Roll plus charm.
Or, let me just pull up my sheet. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, excellent. You get XP.
You get XP, but yeah. Oh no, this investigation's going to a bad start.
So good at this game, guys.
We're so good at this. The dice love us.
It is. It's wonderful, isn't it? Yeah. So kind of looks over, and he just sort of squints, and he's like, and it's like, oh, you're that Pritchard guy.
Yeah, I am. What was it? My winning smile?
Look, we're just trying to do our job here for the and hopefully not have anyone else get killed in this park. So I would suggest you clear off.
Oh boy. I'm gonna yeah, real bang up job you're doing.
And at this point, he's just...
As he says that.
At this point, he just sort of shakes his head, and he's starting to talk into his radio. He's sort of pulling
I
back
gently
a little
grab Sully by the sleeve and start moving him backwards away from the authorities with guns.
So while this is going on, Ozzy...
I give V a look.
Yeah.
I've seen that look before.
I give V a look that's like, move back and focus on the investigation while I swerve really quick.
That's Jim. You're going to allow me? I had a pretty bad roll for the investigation. Can I continue that, or is that was that pretty bad failure going to stop me from finding out anything new?
That's going to keep you distracted for a little while. But in this time, the Ozzy-mobile has turned up, so. But oddly enough, the police are not focused on you right now. They are focused on Sully and V at the moment. So Ozzy, Ori, and Scarlet, you have you're there. You have the opportunity to look around while the police are kind of focusing on these individuals, if you so desire.
Okay, yeah. As soon as I get out, I instantly start to look around, and investigate the area. That's like the first thing I do.
I would also like to investigate the area.
Okay. Well, what we'll do is we'll have Ozzy roll for now, and then we'll see kind of where things go.
Okay, that would be a roll plus sharp, I imagine.
Yes.
So yeah. So just have Ozzy do that for now, and then we'll see what happens. Okay.
That's-
9.
That's partial
Alright.
success. So
Okay.
I think that means on a 7-9 hold one hold can be spent to ask the keeper one
Yeah.
of the following
Yeah.
questions.
So there's several questions there you can ask there.
All right. Let me pull up the questions because I lost the questions. Do.
So what happened here? What sort of creature is it?
Yeah.
What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? And what is being concealed here? So a lot of these do not apply.
Yeah. Yeah, because looking around, because like we know what, what happened here. We know that, like, I think I want to ask, because we don't know what sort of creatures it is, nor do we know what kind of, or if it is a
we
creature.
lost Sully! No!
Oh
Oh
no!
dear.
Oh no! He passed out from all the alcohol.
He is not with us at the moment. Hopefully he shall return momentarily.
I think I'm gonna ask. I think I'll ask exact, because like if I ask what happened here, would I get like a deeper, like a deeper description of what happened here outside of what generally was figured out?
You very well may.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna ask what happened here. See if I can get going deeper.
Okay. So that's your question. So from what you can tell, you have seen. Oh. It went out for just a moment. Oh, okay, we're back. Cool. So yeah, you're looking. Yeah, you're looking, and this, as far as you can tell, there's not much left in the way of blood splatter. Again, they haven't like completely cleaned it up, but the body's gone and all that. But you've been around long enough. You've seen. So here's the thing. Back in the war, especially World War II, when you had people, you had paratroopers. This looks like sort of what would be left behind for people whose if someone's parachute didn't open. Because there are actually little cracks in the tarmac or whatever the cracks in the floor of the court, basically there. That kind of look like that's more of an impact thing than anything else. For blood to come and spill out is possible when someone gets hit, if they hit something and if they were bleeding at the time, then that's a possibility. And there's sometimes someone falls from a great height, then they'll that some blood, there is the possibility of blood loss. If they, wrong thing bursts open. So Yeah, this is actually just from the distribution here. It looks like whoever died here might have fallen from a great height.
Okay. He pulls out like a really obnoxious looking camera with one of those big flash bulbs on top of it,
Oh no.
and he just takes a picture with a loud poof, like noise of the flash goes off.
Jeez.
And he pulls out a cartridge, shakes it, and it develops the picture instantly. Like,
Oh my god. I'm just like, I'm stepping back away from Ozzy now. Just be like, I'm not a part of this. Nope. Nuh-uh.
Can
Nope.
we try to buy Ozzy a like a smartphone or
oh,
something?
he has one. It's just that he enjoys these ways of taking pictures.
But the smartphone is quieter.
Yes, but the pictures is instantaneous picture that I could have
It's
right here.
also instant. It's also instant.
You see a few of the people in the park are now just sort of looking up, and they're just sort of pointing.
But tactile pictures, Scarlett, it's tactile. And he hands her the photo. See, look right here. Ori, come, take a look at this.
Ori trots over and like just kind of peeks around.
Now, look, if you notice here, these are impact points. These are impact points as if someone fell from a height, from a surprisingly distant height to create such impact in the ground.
But she just looks up and she's like, there's not like any like high buildings nearby that can
There are not.
Nope. She just goes, okay. I'm just gonna. She just looks over at like a nearby like bush or just like a group of trees in a bush. She's just like, I'm gonna go over there for a second and figure out if this is something, sprinkly something.
Oh, he like mimics her hand motions, like magic, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm just gonna go over there for a second, just to be out of sight, to be
right,
able
of
to.
course,
Yes,
of course.
I will be back. So she's just gonna go over to like a nearby like group of trees or like big bushes somewhere in this park. There's probably a group of trees somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. There are trees
Like-
scattered throughout the park.
Yeah, she's gonna try and like kind of like use her magic somewhat to see if she can like identify if like maybe like some sort of like portal popped out of the sky or something to see if any magic was used.
Okay, do you have any special moves for this, or is this...
I actually have that old black magic. Says when I
yes.
use magic, I can ask a question from the investigative mystery move as my effect.
Excellent. Cool. So what does this look like? What when you're casting this spell?
So like when I'm like behind the trees and I'm just like doing like an incantation for like a simple spell, detect magic, the tattoos on her left arm start to glow as it's reacting to the arcana and the magic in her, as she's like doing like she's whispering this incantation and trying to cast a spell.
Awesome.
And now I gotta roll plus weird
Yes.
to cast a spell. Ha ha ha. Let's see. No!
Oh
Okay.
no!
Why is my magic being mean to me?
Okay.
Oh no! So now a glitch, so it doesn't work. Big oof.
All right. So, there is. I know that there's a thing here about using magic. Here
Yes,
we go.
there's
Use magic. There it is.
glitches.
I've got it
There's-
right here.
There's a huge thing.
So when you use magic, you roll plus weird, and on a miss, you lose control of the magic. This never ends well. Awesome.
Oh no! Oh no! Wait, where does it say that? I don't see it.
I'm looking in the book.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no!
The most dangerous thing.
Don't make it dangerous. It's a simple spell.
So you are
Oh no.
You are looking around, and you cast this spell to try to spot if there are any
Portals or
strange portals.
dispel.
Yeah, portals or anything like that.
Yeah.
And for a moment, it's like you think you can see one, and then there's this brief sort of like, it feels like something is looking at you.
Uh-oh.
And then for a moment, you kind of, there's this sort of thing. And then as this sort of something, a bit of darkness passes across your vision, as though it's, and you sort of as though it's not exactly like you see or hear this, but it's like a sense of like just instantly, it's like instantly being in two places at once.
Uh-oh.
And I think Ori, you're looking around. You've been investigating while Ozzy's been explaining things, and you turn and you see that Scarlet is no longer there. And I think that is.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I just tug on Ozzy's sleeve and point to where she'd gone.
Yeah.
There's
And
one
as
of the humans is missing.
yeah, and this is sort of as Ozzy is starting to have people come up and ask for autographs and such, because this is about the point that this happens in a public park. And Scully and V, the cop, is just sort of backing off, and the two of you are looking around, and you saw what was happening. You notice, and you see that Scarlet had walked over to this tree, and she's not there anymore. And I think that is where we're going to take our break.
Oh boy.
So,
Oh
we'll be back
no.
in just a few moments.
Oh
See you shortly.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh
Hey folks, welcome to the break. I am here with Summer, who's going to talk to us about some of the games that she's been putting out. I'm very excited to hear about these. You've got quite a few that you're starting to put together. Well, three is many to me. I can tell you that, especially considering how much time and effort they take.
Yeah,
so
that's
why don't we talk about some of these? One that I actually have played is Futurity. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that one first?
Yeah, Futurity is a game that was heavily inspired by Sacha Renault's Spindle Wheel, which is a game where you use tarot cards to make decisions, a completely diceless game. And Futurity uses a pack of normal cards and a tarot deck. And essentially, it is a prompt game where you ask questions about the future, you are presented with a problem, and you ask your fellow oracles to give you predictions of the future, and then you immediately find out what actually came to pass based on the cards. So you draw a prompt card, a confusion, as they're called in the game, which is just a short prompt, a couple of words, and you tell the group about an event in your life, your past or your present, that you have confusion around, and then you ask a question about the future. You choose another oracle or yourself to draw a tarot card, prompting an answer to your question, and they tell you what the future might hold. And then it comes back to you, the one who asked the question, and you tell everybody what actually came to pass, using some things that they might have said or completely disregarding everything that they told you in their vision. It's a prompt improv heavy game that tends to dig deep into personal journeys, weaving webs with other people, and can span anywhere from a couple of years to thousands. I've had games that have crossed galaxies and realms, where I had an oracle who died and became the stars, and then her girlfriend also followed her into the stars, and then they joined the Queen of Swords realm. Like, just it can go just about anywhere that you can think. That's where the game can take you. And it's one of, I mean, obviously I only have 3 games, but I feel very proud of Futurity for giving you the ability to kind of stretch your improv muscles a little bit and your creativity muscles. because it really comes back to the players and what kind of stories you're interested in telling.
Yeah, I think it's perfect for that kind of thing because just it's like you get to kind of decide how long you want to go, and you pretty much just it's very organic, just sort of based on the story in and of itself builds on itself that you're setting up, and you can either keep your particular prophet story by themselves or you can actually cross over. And get into other prophet stories, and I think it's really cool. It's very, very neat the way that you can go either way with that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, and it's a game that you can play by yourself or technically unlimited players. It's just kind of whoever you have on hand. Me and Katie have played a few games, just the two of us, and oh my gosh, with just two people, you can really like tangle them up with each other in their lives, and it gets so sad. It's one of those games where you draw a card and you go, how dare this card show its face right now? Like, it's always the card that you least want to see, but it's the most perfect for what you're doing. It's really, really fun.
Yes,
and
awesome.
It kind of, if you're interested in tarot, all of the tarot cards that come with the game also have the legitimate meanings or generalized meanings that most people have agreed upon when you're playing with tarot cards. So it can teach you really how to read tarot cards if you're interested. Just as a complete basic starter, obviously each set of tarot cards comes with their own specific meanings. If you know much about tarot, that is kind of imbued in the cards by the person who made them. So I would look into that, but it's a great place to start.
Absolutely, and that's also a very cool aspect. I'm actually planning on, hopefully, if I can get my schedule together, I'm planning on actually having a session of it for a one-shot here on this channel in April, I think.
Yeah.
If we got my schedule together right. So look for that. Excellent. Do you want to tell us a little bit about, in the time we have left, do you want to tell us a little bit about Knowing You?
Yeah, Knowing You is my crowning glory. It's my pride and joy. It's the first game I ever made. I released it last May or last July. And Knowing You is a 2-player game about the end of a relationship. You play 2 people who are no longer together, and you explore the relationship from the last time you ever saw each other back to the day that you first met. It's a prompt-based game. Each scene comes with 5 questions and a prompt based on who should answer and who should ask them first. And you take turns asking each other these really hard questions that do, if you've recently been through a breakup, I do not recommend it. But very real questions about why your relationship ended and the cracks along the way, back to how you fell in love and the things that you really enjoyed about each other. It's an incredibly bittersweet game. I always have big feelings playing it, and I almost always get choked up or teary. There are a couple of playthroughs that you can find. Dylan and I, Anarsis, played. You can find that if you just type in Knowing You Anarsis on YouTube, that's up. Grant and I played on Off the Table, off_the table. If you go back through our highlights, you can find it there. And then if you check out a Party of One Pod, Jeff and I also played. And that was probably one of my favorite games. Jeff really choked me up in like the first 15 minutes, which normally I get choked up in the middle, but he really got me good. It was a good game.
I listened to that one. It was really good. That's another game I'm hoping eventually to be brave enough to try. As I'm slowly trying to learn how to come out of my shell for certain games and deal with stuff. It strikes me as a game that might be good for processing stuff that I have problems with in particular. So that might be good. And then do you want to tell us just real quick about the Flores?
Oh my God. Play the Flores if you just need a bullshit time. It is literally the Flores lava made into like a PBTA kind of like loose hack. You have some basic rules for just like screwing over the other kids. You line the battlefield with furniture, and you hop from piece to piece. You push people off. You can call your mom if somebody's too rowdy. It's meant to be kind of along the same silliness of like, I don't know, just like any one shot that you can think, like just to not have like a character you're attached to or anything like that. It's just to kind of goof around with some friends. And I wrote it for Kiana's dungeon couch jam. And I was like, oh, this is actually perfect for that. We also have a playthrough of that on Off the Table. And it was just so fun and so stupid. And so if you just need something quick to pick up and play, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
It was so good.
So stupid.
Watching that was so fun. Just especially seeing, if any of you have been on the channel, you've seen Matthias, who ran the Cold Ruins of Last Life campaign on this channel. Just go watch that actual play. He goes freaking crazy on it. It's delightful.
Yeah.
But, well, where can folks find these games if they want to go check them out?
They can find them on my itch.io at Just a Summer Job. That's where I have all of my games available for purchase. And that's, I think I also have it maybe linked on my Twitter at Just a Summer Job, same name. So if you're interested in playing those games, they're all on itch. They're like a couple bucks. So awesome. I would check them out.
And were there any other parting words or other sort of links you want to leave for us here?
Go play my sad games. You'll heal, I promise. It's good. They're cathartic games. They seem, especially knowing you, seems really scary. And I was honestly terrified to play it the first time. But after I got through it, I was like, oh, dope, chill. You are not left with bad feelings after knowing you. I will tell you that right now. You are left with bittersweet, kind of sad feelings, but nothing lingering. So just go be brave. Play my games.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yay. All right, folks. Now toss things back over probably to me. And we'll see you later. Take care. We have returned. Hello. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all well. I think because I do not know quite how time is going to work with this, I am going to stick with Scarlet for just a little bit before returning to the park. So you sort of sometimes have, so you have this sensation that you have the sensation that you are over this field with strangely shifting colors down below you. And a number of different, it's like you're sort of looking at this continent. And because it looks like a field, and then you realize you're like way up, and there's sort of this continent, and you see these different things, these different buildings, and you're starting to zoom in and see more details as you realize you can hear this wind whipping around, and you feel the wind whipping around you, and you realize that you seem to be falling toward this landmass.
Oh no!
You can see that there are creatures flying through the sky.
Oh.
But you can't clearly make out all of them. They're not like coming for you. They're just sort of in the distance. They look sort of dragon-like, a couple of them. And you sort of look down these strange, shimmering, shifting colors down below at these different structures. Some of them look kind of odd and jagged and are strange non-Euclidean angles, and some of them look like they're like palaces made out of crystal, and some of them look like they are. You see this sort of flat round building that looks kind of out of place, and then you see, and you can start to see like people very distantly. They look like ants from up here, as they're
falling.
As they're these people that might not entirely be people. They look a little weird, pushing just sort of driving this cart, being pulled by large lizard creatures across this landscape, and it's getting closer. I'm wondering if you would like to do something.
Cast a spell to get out of there, because no.
I feel as though that might be a good idea.
Yes.
So what would you like to do?
I would like to do a roll plus weird to use magic to try and get out of this dimension.
So what does this look like as you're trying to cast this spell? What do we see?
I once again try and do an incantation as quickly as I can, and my tattoos on my left arm start glowing again.
Incanting while falling.
Yep, incanting while falling. Please work, please work, please work. Okay, it's a partial success, but a glitch happens.
Okay, excellent.
So it works imperfectly. Choose an effect and a glitch. The keeper will decide what the effect the glitch has. So I'm gonna say the magic draws immediate unwelcome attention.
Okay.
While I try to teleport back to the tree.
Okay.
Oh no.
So when I choose your effect, the keeper will decide what effect the glitch has. All right. So.
Yes.
Yes, you feel as though it's like, okay, you're summoning, and then like you see this portal just sort of appear below you. And is this actually, and it looks like this strange sort of kaleidoscoping thing in front of you. And as you're falling in, you're sort of awash in these colors and lights that are very loud. You feel a hand wrap around your leg as you're falling.
No, I want to kick it off my feet. Get it off! Get it off!
And
get it off. I want to kicking the hand off.
Well, it's like it's very fast, and then all of a sudden you land with a thump, and you realize you are in an alley, landing on a mattress. This alley, and you see sitting crouched on top of a bin is this this short, red-bearded, more sort of reddish bearded gentleman with a sort of wrinkly fellow, wearing a green coat and smoking a pipe. He just sort of tilts his head and looks at you. And he just sort of leans down, and as he's looking down, and he says, "Yeah, bit outside of your jurisdiction, aren't you?" And we're gonna go ahead and switch back over to the folks in the park. What are you all doing?
Being harassed by the cops, yo.
Being harassed by cops and also onlookers who now are coming up to get Ozzy's autograph. Yes.
Because I know Ori was tugging my sleeve to look over towards the tree. I look over, and I'm like, "Yeah, Scarlet was. Where did Scarlet go?"
Ori has pulled out her phone already and has just sent a text to Scarlet that simply says, "Where are you?" in very full stop. Very short and very curt, as opposed to Ozzy's texting style.
It's like, where did she was right there, and it wasn't that long ago that she was there.
But she does weird things. Weird things sometimes go wrong. I've seen it happen before.
Well, yes, I've seen it happen before too, but hope she hasn't gotten herself into any trouble. That'd be most unfortunate. We cannot find ourselves a new Scarlet. So he will wave V and Sully over.
Now, do we see any of this? Do Sully and I, V, see any of this? Because we are currently in a conversation with the police.
Well, the cop had backed up, and so yeah, you get a chance to see that happening.
So we see Scarlet disappear.
Well, you look over at where Ori is looking, and you see that you knew that Scarlet was standing over there,
right?
But you do not see her there now.
But, right. So I didn't see her attempt to use magic and disappear. So that's like, I'm just thinking, for how alarmed should V be?
You think she probably went over there to use magic. I think you probably know her well enough to realize that. Okay. But you didn't actually witness her do it.
All right. Well, I'm not going to leave Sully to... Well, no, maybe I will leave Sully to be harassed by the police. I mean, it happens enough. He's used to it. So maybe V will... when he starts to step up and kind of push me backwards, I'll just kind of fade.
I'm going to give V a look that says, "Go get your girl."
I love how they've developed this wordless language.
I'm
One day you'll learn to speak Sully too, but it's...
Come on, guys. You know, nothing personal. I'm just, shedding some light on you. And there's just a shit-eating grin on Sully's face as he backs up with his hands up. Not doing anything wrong. Just standing here.
All right, but we got our eye on you, Pritchard.
You always do. You always do.
And they're slowly backing up, and they just have something else into it, and they're slowly backing toward the squad car. They're not getting into the squad car, but they're standing next to it watching.
I throw him a wink.
And he's like, he sort of looks back to see if the other cop noticed.
I'm innocent, man. I'm purely innocent, Sully. Bye now.
You're just waiting. He's watching you leave. What are the rest of you doing?
I want to make my way over to the trees where I saw Scarlet disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And look around for any signs of anything that might give us clues as to what happened to her.
It's your turn to investigate a mystery.
I am going to investigate a mystery. The
A
mystery
slightly
of my
different mystery.
disappearing friend. That is plus sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Come on.
Come
Big
on.
rolls.
go.
Big rolls.
Come on.
Ugh.
These rolls today.
I know.
We are
At least-
so good at this game, guys.
Okay, so I think that let me just look something real quick. Just want to look at something real quick. Yeah. You hear something as you're just sort of standing here looking around. You can't figure out. You don't see exactly what it is that's going on, but it's like you hear a voice for a moment, and you feel something like a hand not anywhere specific, but just sort of like coming very close to. It's like this clawed hand passes in front of your face for a moment, and you hear this voice say, "Ah, there you are." And the thing is, it's and you get this weird spike in temperature. You're noting that your temperature levels have gone up for a moment, and then they're cooling back down. It's as though that you get this flutter from your power source for just a moment.
That was an anomaly. And she's just going to kind of back up towards the other people.
I think at that time, V's probably making her way across to that same spot. So as Ori is backing up, she's kind of walking into that situation. I don't think she's alarmed in any way, shape, or form. It was suddenly like Scarlet was there at one point in time. She wasn't. She could easily be on the other side of the shrubs for all I know.
There is an odd voice where Scarlet should be.
Wait, what do you mean what Scarlet should be?
She came over here to do weird things and then disappeared.
Weird thing.
Not again. Okay. If I'm investigating magic, is that weird rather than sharp?
Unless there is a specific move that I think is related to that, I don't think. I am not immediately. If you're aware of a move that more specifically deals with that, then it's just going to be plus sharp. if you're using if you're investigating a mystery.
All right. So I'm going to investigate a mystery,
Okay.
and I'm going to add 2 to this roll.
Yeah. Remember, anytime you fail.
Oh yeah,
you get
which I just did.
Yep. So
Can I help?
more XP.
Can I help out?
You can.
Okay.
Oh no.
I'm there. I will make an attempt.
Sure. Well, even if I get that +1.
Yeah, that'll bump it
It'll
up.
be a
partial success.
+2. I give a +2 bonus when successfully helping out because I was built as an assistant.
Oh. Cool.
Oh, that's
all right.
Oh, that's cool. We're gonna solve crimes.
So your help grants them a plus to their roll, but you also expose yourself to trouble or danger, which is delightful. So with this in particular, what are you doing to help? Just I got an idea.
That kind of depends on what how V was investigating as to how I would help out.
Right. Simply, like, I would have just come over and probably wouldn't have even done an investigation if you hadn't said something. So the fact that you're telling me that she was there, probably pointed to where she was, told me she disappeared, at least gives me an idea of where to look.
Gotcha.
And I'll give V the information that there was a weird voice, and it felt like a hand or claws, and there was an anomaly with my power source when I was standing in this area.
So, yeah.
And I'll kind of like follow along behind.
Yeah.
And just keep an extra eye out.
I think that, and I think what we briefly get is a camera angle, that sort of low camera angle from a distance with some bushes slightly around it, focused on Ori. And yeah, so V, you've bumped up to a 7 to 9, so you get 1 hold, so you can ask a question.
I think that really kind of what happened here, though. I guess if we're going with, let's see. Well, if we said what happened here, then clearly she disappeared. So how about what is being concealed?
So, you have occasionally heard Scarlet talk about currents of magic.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that they sort of will move sort of through those who are invoking it. Because you're kind of, that's one of the ways you get your will into the world. It's along the current of magic that goes through. And she talked about, Scarlet has talked about occasionally getting, it's like, I think you probably asked her if like you get swept away in a current of magic, and Scarlet says it's possible. But probably didn't want to talk about it too much. And you feel as though this might be a case in which there is probably some kind of, there either is or was some kind of gateway or some kind of, this is like an area where someone has shifted from one place to another.
Right.
And Scarlet, if Scarlet was poking into that, she might have gotten carried through it. Even though it wouldn't necessarily technically be... most people, this wouldn't be a problem for. This wouldn't be a thing they would be risking, but
right.
Someone doing magic, maybe.
Okay, and there's nothing I can do. And I'm guessing... so she's in there. That's the situation. Let's see. Who's best in that situation? I guess it's going to be Ozzy, right? Like, I guess super science.
Ozzy has... Does V tell Ori about the portal or teleportation thing?
I mean,
'Cause Ori has no idea.
essentially, I think when she's investigating a mystery, just in general, she has a tendency to talk the problems out loud, which is she kind of zones out, focuses on that. So she's like, okay, if she's trying magic and she got the spell wrong, then there's a good chance that she got carried away with the flow of magic. So rather than being attuned with it, she went at crossroads with it, I guess. So it's essentially what she's speaking out loud.
Ozzy has a device to see into other worlds. This morning, it summoned a slime monster. Maybe we can readjust it to not summon slime monsters. And perhaps we could find Scarlet. She is not answering my text message.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me actually then cut back over since for timing purposes. Scarlet. Hi. So Scarlet, you're on this mattress. This diminutive fellow standing on a on top of a garbage bin has said to you, you are out of you seem to be out of your jurisdiction. How do you respond to this? All right, let me try. Can you hear me, Scarlet? Gillian, can you hear me? Oh, okay, sorry.
Yes, sorry.
Yes.
Oh no!
We're back with little man crouched on garbage bin. Has said you seem to be out of your jurisdiction.
Do I know if I'm back in the town of Basic?
Yeah. This looks like probably Basic. You think you're behind the Tim Hortons.
Okay. Would I, so this guy's telling me that I'm basically out of my jurisdictions? Is that what he's...
He said, yes, you seem to have been out of your jurisdiction. Why would that be?
Does he look like someone I recognize, or does he look like...
So, have you been to this Tim Hortons?
Yes.
A lot. Okay, so
Yes,
yeah, he's one of their cooks.
Oh.
I don't know if they have cooks, but this one does.
So he's possibly Fae?
He is probably Fae.
Yeah, he's probably... So he probably... Yeah, so like I would probably know more about the staff, but never told them my name for obvious reasons, because...
Yeah.
Fae, be transferred to another dimension, whatever. Let's see, like... I'll just go... Stuff happens and it was an accident, I'm so sorry.
Why would you go throwing yourself way up there, though? That's really what I'm curious about.
She's just like kind of shocked because like she's just like on in an alleyway and she's just like, well, there was a murder that was on the news and I was trying to figure out what happened and then this happened. I kind of was starting to fall from the sky. That usually doesn't happen.
It's a very unusual investigative procedure. Just plummeting through the from high above the from high above the dream continent.
The dream continent?
Yeah,
Would I know anything about the dream continent? Because my stack does look at knowledge, ancient lore, and magical lore.
Do you have any research-related moves or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
So like...
Would be like,
It's one of those things where it sounds familiar, But I think that you'd probably, yeah, it's a big enough thing. It's kind of it's not a literal thing, or at least it's not supposed to be a literal place, but it's kind of a representation of a kind of sort of a crossroads between dimensions. And ways of basically that show paths to different dimensions. So occasionally you've heard talk of people walking the dream continent to get from one place to another. But you'd never experienced it before.
So what I saw when I was falling with the people with the giant lizards carrying stuff and the flying dragon things was the dream continent? Oh! I always wondered what that place was like.
Yes. You normally don't have someone casting magic screaming through the sky in that place like that. It's very unusual.
It is. I was actually figuring out from
Garner's
a murder.
notice.
Yeah, I was in shock. I was supposed to be figuring out because apparently someone kind of fell from the sky and plummeted in the nearby park, and I was figuring out if portals were involved, but then I went into a portal myself.
Well, it sounds like you got your answer.
I guess I did. A very strange one at that, and do I know what time it is right now?
Yeah. So you get out your phone to see what time it is, and you see that you've got a text from Ori asking you where you are.
I'll just look at it real quick and I'll just text and reply and be like, alleyway behind the Fae Tim Hortons send.
And the guy on the guy crouching on the bin will well, let's take a moment though. Well, let's actually follow the text then. So we're heading back, and I think Ori was trying to get Ozzy's attention about the use of the portal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll look at my text and yeah. Well, she is at the Tim Hortons, the weird one.
Oh, the weird one.
Not
With
that
the-
place.
The one that doesn't have. Oh, they mean the one that doesn't have the Timbits upon every hour. I'm not a big fan of that one.
She
That
is
is very
in the
weird,
alley
by the way.
behind that one.
Oh, well, maybe we should get going then. That doesn't explain how she.
V's already on her skateboard, heading over there.
Oh, okay. I just start jogging.
She tosses Sully the keys first because she clearly has the keys.
Thanks, kid.
I get in the car and actually, is the Tim Hortons far from the park?
Not really, no.
Oh, then I just head over. I just walk, do a brisk walk in that direction.
I mean,
As we're briskly walking, I will posit V's suspicions that perhaps Scarlet got swept away by magic to another place. And perhaps your device could see that place, if that is where all of this is happening from.
Oh, perhaps that is very true. We could use the dimensional viewer to see where she went to. I mean, if she's back here, that does apply some first-hand experience on her part describing the place. But if we can perhaps get some readings off of her, some dimensional residue, and apply that towards the window, we might be able to do a little bit tweaking to it. I may be able to view wherever she was at. Yep, yes, we need to go find her. Hurry. And he starts walking faster.
Okay. You're all...
Or Ori is just muttering under her breath, like, but no slime monsters, please.
Oh, no, there won't be any slime monsters because I'm certain I made the calibrations properly that they should not come back. Don't worry, Ori.
So I take it you're all heading for the Tim Hortons. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, heading towards Tim Hortons.
All right. Let me briefly cut back to the alleyway just so that we can figure out positioning when you arrive. So, yeah, this guy again sitting on the on the bin is going to cock an eyebrow and sort of say, so if there's something that's used in those lands, this is something we need to know. I would appreciate it if you were to let us know the result of your investigation.
Why would you be interested of all people if people were somehow using magic to get to the Dream Continent?
Things are popping in and out in places they're not supposed to. Could endanger us as well.
You have a good point there. We don't really... This is quite a small town, and if it gets around that Fey folk are running the Timortier, it would be pretty scandalous towards the company.
Just going to lean forward. It would be a problem for everyone.
Good point. If I find out, and when the investigation ends, I will let you know then.
He smiles. Shall we shake on it?
Would Scarlet know if that's a bad idea to make a deal with a Fae?
Probably.
Just check the rule book here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right here. Bad idea.
Yeah, you probably... Yeah, Scarlet would realize that as far as Fae deals go, this one... So here's the thing. Yeah, making a deal does have magical consequences. Now, if, however, this particular Fae thinks that you owe them anyway, then that does not mean that they will not leave you alone. So it's really a choice between make the deal and they will leave you alone until, such time as they feel that, you haven't fulfilled it, or until you fulfill it. Or don't make the deal and possibly have them underfoot as you proceed.
So I think as she's just thinking about her options, she thinks that probably the best option is to take the deal. Because if they're in the know, they know if they're safe. You know what? I'm good for a bit of drama in this mystery. I'm gonna take the deal.
All right.
I'll shake on the deal.
He smiles and he winks at you, and this little sort of tinkling sound happens in the background. And he says, "Well then, that's right, civilized." And he hops down, and he says, "Well, my break's nearly over." And he says, "Lucky thing that mattress is there, eh? Feel free to come in for a donut if you like." And he goes around and he will re-enter the Tim Hortons through the back door. And And this will be probably just as... I think V took off first, but yes, everyone's going to be basically showing up shortly. V is probably going to be showing up at first, so you're going to basically as you're getting there, you see Scarlet in the back alley.
Let me ask you how we approach the Tim Hortons in the corner of your eye. No, I think at one point in time we had discussed that this particular Tim Hortons was not recognizable by Muggles, correct? Essentially, like to the mundane, that doesn't even appear to be, or are they just not aware that it is?
No, I think the mundane folks just think of it as a Tim Hortons.
Okay.
It's a regular Tim Hortons. They offer everything that's on the Tim Hortons menu.
Except hourly Timbits.
They're always out of the good Timbits.
But
yeah,
then
that's basically what it is.
There are other things on a secret menu, however, that that are more specific.
All right, cool. Well, then V kind of comes to a halt in the alleyway and sees Scarlet lying on an old mattress behind a Tim Hortons, which, ew, but she skates right up to her and kind of like crouches down. Are you all right?
Yeah, I think so. So, where did you guys come here just to see me? That's so sweet.
Well, you did sort of disappear from our plane of existence in the middle of an investigation, so...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Everyone else is going to be, at this point, coming up and seeing, you see V and Scarlet in the alley, and you basically can get over there if you want.
I give V a thumbs up.
I mean, it's possible... Oh, it's possible that V even sees that. I'm not sure which direction she's facing, but...
Yeah, easy.
Ori will walk up as well.
Yeah, Ozzy will walk up and look around, like for anything out of the ordinary that could be in this alleyway.
Well, it's the back of a Fey Tim Hortons, so of course it would be out of the ordinary.
Well, no, out of the ordinary, as in maybe like, there's Fey Tim Hortons, but like a non-Fey creature outside of Tim Hortons.
No, there's no one else out here right now.
Oh, well, it looks like you're fine, Scarlet. Hold on one second, and he pulls out like a little like device and like kind of runs it up and down Scarlet, trying to scan her for any kind of dimensional. Would he be able to scan her for like dimensional residue or anything?
Yes. Yes, sure. I think this is yet another way of investigating a mystery, strangely enough.
Boy.
Unless you have a more appropriate
Well,
move.
I would like to use science as that's the way it says in my playbook. It's science. Okay. I may create a gadget or to help me in my investigations. It says I tell the keeper what I want the device to be capable of, and the keeper will pick some of these options. It needs to have some rare or weird components. It won't be very reliable. It will take a long time to build. It requires an enormous amount of power. It requires successful use of magic as part of construction. It won't work exactly as you want it. It will cost a lot of money, or you'll need some help building it. Would this be like... Because I was thinking of using this playbook for the dimensional window to recalibrate to see wherever she came from.
Ah,
Or
okay.
you could just ask me.
Oh, that's right. He could. He really could.
This is possible.
It's possible. As he's like kind of scanning her, though, he's definitely asking questions like, so, Scarlet, so what happened? Where did you come? Where did you go? How did you end up back here? Are you okay? Do you need any...
V's defensively going to actually push Ozzy back just briefly and like Ozzy, give her some space.
Oh, right,
okay?
right. Of course, yes.
Oh yeah.
And using one of Sully's playbooks, V helps Scarlet back up to her feet.
Aw, thank you. Thank you for pulling me up. That's
Not a
sweet.
girl, V.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead. It's fine. You
Well,
were gonna
I will just mention briefly to Ozzy before I forget. To get this working exactly the way that you would like it, it's probably going to use some. We'll use some rare components to get it to. So there is a type of metal that your forebear that your dad discovered that has sort of dimensional properties, or it's sort of dimensionally sensitive, and so you would have to. I mean, I say metal, but it's it's an ore, basically, that you would need to get hold of something made out of it. If you get something made out of it, you could like shape it into the right thing, for the part that you need. Until then, it's going to be. It's not going to be. It's going to be a little vague in its detection. But there are some places, certainly you can look to try to get a hold of it, to get a hold of what you're looking for.
Like knowing this, like he kind of like whaps his device, like this is enough. I definitely need some of the testlight. If I get in my hands some testlight, I could probably but focus in hand. Scarlet, what happened? Are you okay?
It's all right. I'm okay now. That was really weird what happened. So I was trying to test your theory that because it wasn't possible for someone to actually fall from the sky because there's no tall buildings around here. So I thought it could have been a portal that could just popped up, and Julius was like meow kind of thing, So I tried to cast magic to see if there is a portal somewhere around here that was recently used. And I kind of got transported myself into a different dimension and kind of was falling down into the dream continent.
The dream continent?
It's sort of kind of like, it's supposed to be a world that's supposed to be like a crossroads that goes into other dimensions. So while I was falling, I casted magic again to try and create a portal to get out of there. Laying at the back of the horns, and one of the cooks found me. So they were kind of not happy about because it was kind of out of my jurisdictions and thought it was an issue that someone could get through the dream continent with all the bad stuff happening lately, and I may have me to deal with him to tell him the results for our investigation.
You what?
Oh.
Sully pulls out his gun.
I put my hand on the barrel. I'm like, no.
I'll handle this right now.
But I like the coffee here.
Yes, Sullivan, we really enjoy the coffee here.
Oh, for God's sakes.
You
can get coffee anywhere.
As far as deals go with the fair folk, this is one of the more innocuous ones.
This is very true. I have enough tags that if I get 7 more tags, I get a sweatshirt. I'd rather not turn this place down. It's a place we cannot go into anymore.
But he was right about one thing. If someone has access to the dream continent to portals left and right, and with the recent murders that have been happening lately, it could be trouble for everybody.
Indeed.
If I tell them the conclusion, it would benefit everybody. And just all of us finding out what's going on.
Yeah, also that gun's not going to do anything to them. So it's just gonna make matters worse.
They would
Yeah.
likely find out on their own,
I don't know about
regardless.
that.
They are resourceful and probably have favors owing from at least half of the mundane people in this town who don't know better.
Oh, this is very true. Well, if we need, if they created a deal with you, it's best you uphold it. It would be
Yes.
rude if you don't.
It would be very rude.
And-
I do plan to uphold it entirely. It's just whoever made these portals must be very keen to magic. And one that's very more careful.
I heard a voice when I was looking for you. Did you hear a voice?
Do I remember hearing the voice though?
Nope.
No, I didn't hear. What did the voice say?
It said, "There you are," to me.
There you are. Ori, who's looking for you?
I do not know. There was an anomaly in my power source. After they spoke.
What is this day?
Oh, it's Tuesday.
No, what is this day? Not. Never mind.
He- um, I apologize for worrying everyone. It was probably a silly mistake that I made to even use magic to try to figure this out. I thought it would be handy in case it was actually vampires, but complicated magic is another thing.
We now know more than when we started. Thus, this is a net success, and you were right to try.
Scarlet, also your phone is going to buzz again.
Oh.
Which now that you're in somewhere with better reception than the Dream Continent, you actually well, I mean, one would think the Dream Continent has excellent reception, but no, not Wi-Fi, unfortunately, or not not
Still
cell
Wi-Fi
reception.
with Wise.
Yeah,
Alright, so
Stand for something much worse.
yeah.
I'm looking at my phone.
And it's and your mentor again is sort of like it's you see that it's actually you're at a point where you're getting closer to the time, and your mentor has a thing, call ASAP.
And I'm just gonna look at the others and be like, and she looks and sighs. I'm sorry, I have to take this. It's important business. And she's just gonna walk out of the alleyway and go to like a nearby like cafe or something. Not the Tim Hortons.
Not the Tim Hortons. Okay, a non-Hortonite cafe.
Yes.
So you're going to step out and do that. Yeah, I think we'll briefly follow you for this just so we can get this out of the way. So you step. You're gonna call back.
Yeah, I'm gonna call back.
Okay. Who is your mentor?
My mentor. I have to look this up. Yeah, so my mentor is someone in his mid to late 50s. He kind of usually wears a hood, but she could tell from the voice that he is probably in his mid to late 50s. She's never really seen his face. He always wears the robes of her sect.
Oh, okay.
But she can always tell, like, whenever she has, like, conversation or during her lessons with him, that he's more attuned to what's going on in the modern world than the other higher ranking members who are more secretive about it and just more paranoid. She knows that like he's a little different from the others, and that's why she trusts him,
Right.
looks up to him as her mentor.
Okay, but you don't actually have a name. You don't have his name then. He just so they conceal their identities is what I'm saying. It's like, okay, all right. So this number, so you call, and you hear Scarlet.
Hello, mentor.
So I've just noted you've made an interdimensional transit. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm okay. I fortunately got out without a scratch, but
Interesting. Good. Now, what were you going to say?
I was wondering why you wanted me to call so urgently. It's you usually don't have me call you unless it was an extreme emergency.
We have thieves.
Thieves? What do you mean?
A number of things have been taken, it seems. And we are putting things on lockdown. I just want rather immediately, so I wanted to let you know. While you are still out there, there are certain things I need you to be on the lookout for. And he says, the sextant of transit has gone missing.
Oh, that's not good. That's really not good. And as you say that, the background is just going, "Oh shit, he found out."
Someone apparently tried to replace it with someone had tried to replace it with an ordinary sextant. But we are tracing what we can on it now. But that in and of itself, we will recover the sextant in time. But something that we have noted that at around the same time has gone missing, and there might be a connection. Therefore, is someone has got into our stores of griffin liver.
What else has been stolen other than the sextant?
Our stores of griffin liver.
Oh.
We had 2 crates of the stuff.
Why would someone need that much griffin liver for?
Well, remember your studies. There are a number of things you can make with that. If you trade it appropriately, and if someone is out there trading griffin liver, we need to know. It would have they could make all manner of concoctions with unusual properties, things that affect a person's ability to maintain their hold on this plane of existence, for one.
I see. That doesn't sound very good.
Now, this is one of the reasons I called you rather immediately, as I noted that you seem to have not been on this plane recently. Is there anything that I should know?
Everything's fine. I was trying to figure something out with an event that happened here in town, and spell kind of went wrong, and I was just sent poof.
Interesting. There might possibly be a connection. If they're using the griffin liver, if someone is using the griffin liver as an ingredient in whatever concoction they're making, you may want to see if it is possible to trace that.
All right.
You and your companions might ask around and find out. But they're making some sort of concoction is likely being made with it. It's the only explanation for the lions doing what they're doing right now. And as always, please be careful and reveal nothing.
Of course, Mentor.
Let me know when you find something.
I will. Goodbye, Mentor.
Good.
And with that, I'm going to head back to the group.
Okay. Has the group been doing anything in particular, or is it mostly just about keeping Sully out of the Dim Hortons?
I've been embroidering a shirt that says "Be careful and reveal nothing" because that's a fantastic slogan. I think convincing Sully to not go to a place and instead go to a place that has alcohol is probably pretty effective. Yeah.
I think
Not on the job, kid. Not on the job.
But we were fighting sea people, and you were drinking the whole time.
Was I though? Was I?
Yes.
Yeah, well, different times.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as you're aware of it, and I'm not going crazy. However, if I think I could perhaps attune to attune the dimensional window towards the dream plane, but I will need some Tesladite to use as a focus so we can. It has certain attuneities that it can vibrate. The metal can vibrate at a certain wavelength, so that it can pierce through the fabric to view dimensions further than I can normally view with the window. I don't have any. I don't think I will need to look around the manor for a bit, but still, this at least we have a start of where we need to start our investigations at.
I can poke around too and maybe get some more information. I mean, we don't actually know the extent of the injuries, so we've made this assumption that he's fallen from a great height. You've told me that there's cracks in the ground, but we don't know what the autopsy says. So
Yes.
We want to make sure that we're focusing in the same direction. So maybe what I'll do is I'll try to get that information. I think if anybody could probably do it, it's either me or you, since you're kind of a celebrity.
I don't have a lot of pull with the morgue. Ever since the situation with gentlemen who tried to reanimate dead bodies, I am not allowed back there.
That's tricky. I think more or less at this point, Scarlet will be coming back.
Let's just say, the one story about a gentleman named Herbert West is not just a story.
Oh boy!
Curse you, West!
What did you do?
Oh, I did nothing. It was, I did something. But let's just say I thought he had good intentions in his studies of reanimating dead flesh, but he had no good intentions at all. But because of that, I'm not allowed back in the morgue. So V, I believe you would probably be the best to gain access to the building.
Scarlet, are you okay if we, do you need to head back to your place, or you're good if we, I leave you with the group?
Yeah, but V, can I talk to you for a sec? Like, important.
Okay, so I'm assuming I'm stepping out of the alleyway behind the magical fairy encrusted Tim Hortons. How was your game? It was great.
Oh, Raggle was perfectly timed.
What I think, does Tim Hortons have a drive-through? Because I'm wondering how much of this is like, because the alleyway behind it really is just the drive-through way, right? Like, is that?
I don't know that this one necessarily does.
Okay.
Most of them, I think, do. This one probably does not.
Okay. Yeah, so I step back with Scarlet.
So you remember the favor I asked you about a thing that was stolen a few months back?
Yeah, I remember after you explained it to me the next day. Yeah.
Yeah, they found out it's gone.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I guess that fake probably put it fooled them for a pretty good amount of time. But now they know. And yeah, since I'm out on the field, they asked me to find it since it's probably connected to the events going on here, and also to store supplies of griffin livers and so on as well.
I mean, we didn't take those, did we?
No,
Okay,
No.
just
no. And I put like my hand on her shoulder. We didn't steal anything. But I told her just so because it's bad that's gone.
right.
Now it's probably gonna bite me in the butt if they find out that we knew it was gone, but we concealed it. So we need to find that thing.
Okay, so
And the griffin livers, because that's also bad. Because it's a good component for a lot of rituals and spells and potion ingredients. So it's really bad that someone stole like a whole lot of it.
okay, well, Scarlet, I mean, magic's and I can help you find stuff, but I'm going to need some more information. So, where do we start with that? I mean, does this take? Is this going to take precedent over the current investigation? Should we just kind of say we're doing one thing and work on this one?
I think the two events are connected.
Well, that's going to be convenient.
It's probably going to be extremely convenient, but I'll do my own investigating on my own from here. I'll let you guys do whatever you need to do in the investigation. I'll figure out things I'll do some research. I'll go to my connections and figure out if there's been anything about that. And if you find out anything, let me know as soon as you can.
Yeah. But you're okay, right?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna turn and just go. I'm gonna see what I can find out at the morgue.
Okay.
And assuming the morgue is relatively close by, and I'm not going to be skateboarding for 8 miles. So if it's relatively close, I'll.
Before you leave, I'll just say, V. Be careful, for my sake.
All right, I'll do my best. And like she goes in for like the awkward hug. Yeah, I think it starts off as maybe the intention is a little more than a hug, but it just becomes like a
She'll accept the awkward hug, and then as you leave, it'll be like, yes, Brock.
Okay.
And then she will skate off.
So V is heading off to the morgue. Scarlet is doing something else. I want to know what Ozzy, Ori, and Sully are going to be working toward, just so that...
Ozzy is going to attempt to... because he knows he has Tesla Dites somewhere in the manor. So if he needs it for this, to make the scanner operational, he's got to go through the manor and, like, dig around for it.
Ori will help with that.
I'm going to hit the streets. I'm going to visit previous places I've seen supernatural creatures. I'll get in contact with some hunters. I'll basically just put in some legwork, trying to see if anyone's heard anything about what's going on right now.
Okay, excellent. So, what I'm going to ask for then, real quick, is for a couple of people to make a couple of rolls. Let me just look through here and see if there is anything that... Okay. Do you first off, Sully, do you have any special moves for this before I default to one of the other moves?
No, not.
Okay. So, my question is, when you go out investigating like this, basically, is this more of a... Is it just mostly talking to well, yeah, is it what is your approach? Like, is this more of a distance talking type thing, or is this more of a leaning on people type thing, or is it, you know what I'm saying? It's yeah. Like smash people's faces in until you get the. I'm trying to figure out sort of. They're like, in a different. I'll try to explain. In different detective fictions, you have different kinds of ways of going around and asking people questions. So it's like either you just sort of you'll like try to do sort of an intellectual cat and mouse with them, or you might do a thing where it's more like you lean on thugs type deal, or it might be more of a thing just where it's like, I know a guy who's going to connect me up to another guy who's going to connect me up to a third guy to, so kind of where on that spectrum are we is kind of what I'd like to know.
Sully ain't really a nice guy, so the only leading on another person he does is the rough kind, where he's trying to get information.
Okay. I think what we'll do then... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I think I'm just going to have you act under pressure for this. Okay. So this would be rolling plus cool.
Okay. Come on. Oh my god. Okay, well. Let's hope for a big roll, huh? Oh,
7 and
boy.
9. Keeper will give you a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay. All right. Yes. All right. Excellent. And so that I have some idea of Yeah. Yeah, okay. So you can get so you're gonna kind of be asking around to sort of find out what sort of their kind of what sort of the deal is, but I think I think that there will be you realize some of the folks you're going to have to ask to find out what you want to know are essentially the kinds of folks that you would the people you get directed to are either folks either folks at the Tim Hortons or folks at the bowling alley. And
Sully's having a bad day.
Yeah.
He's having a real bad day.
It's like these are like your two paths. It's like they might know or they might know.
Sully begrudgingly puts his gun away and drives to the bowling alley.
All right. And I think as we see Sully heading up to Nexus Lanes, all in his lonesome, that is where we are going to bookmark it for this week.
Ooh.
So ominous.
So ominous. Splitting the party.
Awesome.
Hey, it's always a great idea. What are you talking
That
about?
was a grand idea.
Splitting the party is the best possible thing you can do.
It's the best thing you can do.
Absolutely. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, that is our first session, as this mystery is being sorted out. Very cool. Very cool.
Oh yeah.
We are going to go around, and we're going to do our outros. And folks can feel free to say where people can find you online, plug anything you like, and then let us know any thoughts you had about this session. And we will start with Drew.
I'm gonna go with the thoughts on the session. I'm really enjoying that our characters all have relationships with one another, in the sense that we all kind of have our own, one-on-ones. I really enjoy the fact that I think we set it up, but I do like that. I feel like I could do a scene with Ori, and I could do a scene with Ozzy, and I could do a scene with Sully, and clearly I can do a scene with Scarlet, but that it works and it feels natural, and that is good character building, and I appreciate that. And I like that this mystery we've barely rolled anything, but we have so many options. So I do like that. So yeah, and as far as plug-in anything, if you like Doctor Who, I've got a Doctor Who podcast called Who and Company. It can be found at Who and Company at libsyn.com. We bring on different guests that we know through Doctor Who, be they podcasters, writers, actors, so on. This is our third season, and we have a guest coming up. We generally release on the last day of the month, so we watch a television show that is not Doctor Who and talk about that in addition with everything else. So yeah, that's Who and Company at libsyn.com.
Awesome. Excellent. And now over to Gillian.
Oh, that is me. Hello, everybody. My name is Gillian. You guys can find me on my Twitter on G4GamingNext, and also my Twitter on G4Gaming, where I do a lot of variety streams. And you can also find me on Saturdays on twitch.tv/CapricornCross, but we are currently taking a break this coming week. We'll be back next week. And also, while all this is going on, I'm also fundraising money since April is Autism Acceptance Month. I'm currently raising money for the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, which is a great cause, and I hope you guys can donate at least or share around the Twitters or the mass medias about this fundraiser and what I do. And oh my god, that's so many roles. Oh my god, this is going so great, and I love it so much, and I'm making a lot of bad decisions already, and I love it. I can't wait for next week.
Team Bad Life Choices.
So many bad life choices.
Excellent. Very cool. And Lance, how's it going?
Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter at LTALIG once more. That's my thoughts for the session. I'm loving it, man. It's coming together. Our little family's getting fleshed out, and maybe next time, Sully's gonna be in a spot of trouble.
It's entirely possible.
Sully's gonna be in some hot water.
What isn't he?
Yeah, that's fair.
Only more suffering to happen to this guy. Come on, man. Let's talk about it.
So much suffering. Soon. Excellent.
Really good. Love the dynamics happening so far. Really thrilled to explore it more in our next session, but that's pretty much all for me.
Cool. And over to Autumn.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Taurus Donuts. You can find me on my Twitch channel, generally streaming RPGs and a lot of indie games at twitch.tv/Senkabei. And actually, this week coming up, I am working with an excellent group who are doing a fundraiser for Doctors Without Borders. We're playing a week of tabletop RPGs. So you can find them at FCRD12 on Twitter and twitch.tv/ST or twitch.tv twitch.tv/st_perseverance. That's where we're going to be streaming. I am playing in an Acquisitions Incorporated one-shot on the 17th. But we have stuff running from the 15th to the 21st, I believe.
Awesome. Excellent, excellent. Very cool. st_perseverance. Looks like that one probably.
That would be it.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
and I am also really enjoying our dynamic as a group. I'm really excited to see where these stories are going. And yeah, I think I am excited for all of the mystery.
Excellent. Cool. And Wally, hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? You can find me at Twitter at Wally132. Just usually sharing my thoughts and my ideas there. Also, you can find me tomorrow, same channel, Other Doc, for the weekly Masks game on Wednesdays. That's always a lot of fun. We're going into our season 2 and can't wait for y'all to check out the antics we get into. I will say, like, I have to agree with everyone. I'm loving the dynamics that we all have as our characters are just like, we all have like these established relationships with each other that we created in session 0. And then like this week just fleshed it out even more so what those relationships are. And to add a sentiment what Drew said, it's like, yeah, everyone can easily role play off of each other very easily because of these established bonds that they have. And it's really cool. I'm really excited to see where all of this goes and the big reveal of this mystery.
Me too. I think this is gonna be very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, that leaves me, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing kind of how how much more trouble these characters can get into, and where this is all gonna lead with folks. I mean, I have ideas. I know what's behind it, but I just want to see how everyone reacts and how they uncover things, because that is a delight. But as for me, once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and some of my fiction and games I've been working on, along with links to game signups and applications to join our Discord. So tomorrow, Wednesday, we're hopefully we'll be back to Masks. We're trying to get back to it. We've got there's real life stuff we got to make sure that gets taken care of. But hopefully we'll be doing Masks again, run by Mole Thulu. On Thursdays, we are starting up this Thursday our campaign of the Sprawl, our mini campaign run by guest GM Brian. That's again powered by the Apocalypse cyberpunk game. On Saturday nights, we have in my Invisible Sun game, The Edge of Paradox. On Sundays, Sunday afternoons, we do one-shots. The one-shot coming up this Sunday is going to be Weird War II. That's a Savage Worlds game. Basically, the Allied troops in World War II fighting monsters. That's basically what this is going to be. So I wanted to try that setting out for some time, so we're going to be playing that. Then Sunday evenings, we have our regular Dark Matter game, Ghosts of Saltmaw. It's Ghosts of Saltmarsh in space. Then around to Tuesdays, on Tuesday afternoon, we're going to continue with Las Vegas, which we were able to start up again earlier today, and with James at the dealer's chair. So we're going to be continuing with Act 3. Then, of course, Tuesday night, 1 week from tonight, more of this. And we will delve deeper into the mystery and see what we can find out. At the moment, I do not have any signups running, but I am going to have some signups soon for next month's short campaign, which is going to be Call of Cthulhu. I'm going to do I've never run straight Cthulhu before, and so I'm going to give it a shot. So, yeah, more investigative horror will be happening next month for folks interested in that. Once signups are open for that, hopefully within the next few days, you'll be able to get there by going down and clicking on RPG sign up or going to gymyesthatgym.com and clicking on game sign up. As always, beginners are welcome. So when we hit the end card, I am going to send a raid over to Dice Priori. They are playing a game they're called Dragon Heisters. It's the name of their campaign. I assume they're doing Dragon Heist. Dungeon with the Dungeons and the Dragons. I haven't had a chance to raid them lately, so we're going to go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you so desire and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you next week. Farewell.